All right, guys. So I'm going to react to a video. It's not too surprising. It's sort of the same old from the right. Um, Kittens are playing right now, but the one of them is very social, and she likes to jump up on my lap, tries to mess with the keyboard, and that causes like videos to go all over the place and stuff due to short keys or shortcut keys. So yeah, might have some issues here, but it'll be okay. Um, so this is a video called "The Disturbing Logic of the Left." Melanie Phillips is the special guest, and I'd never heard of her before, but after doing a little bit of research, she is Jewish, so it's not extremely surprising her take on this. Personally, I think she's incapable of viewing this situation objectively without bias, and I think that most of you will agree once you hear her take, which I will kind of deconstruct as we go. The host shouldn't be too very surprising given the subject matter here, is John Anderson. He is actually, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment to briefly pop up a different thing. John Anderson, from quiet conservative to YouTube radical. John Anderson didn't go away. So he was a former Nationals leader, and he was fairly traditional moderate, but since he's taken a sharp right turn, more than likely grifting. We've seen this all over the place, and yeah, it looks like yet another one of those. I'm probably not going to link this, but you can look at it if you want. He's had on Jordan Peterson. He's made uh, criticism against Black Lives Matter. He focuses on men's rights. He's against trans rights. Celebrates the work of Peter Ridd. And he's like hardcore about evangelical Christianity. He is about as fake as they come, as you can tell by his extreme shift all of a sudden. Anyhow, just to give you a little overview before we get started. All right, let's go ahead.
Liberal mind conceives of itself as being good because it's liberal. The Western liberal tells him or herself, I'm a good person because I'm liberal. I'm liberal because I'm a good person, which means that I believe in things like the brotherhood of man, conscience and compassion, looking after the wretched of the world, the poor and the wretched of the world, standing up against abuses of power. These are all good things, and that's why I'm a liberal. And I'm a liberal because of all these good things. So one of the expressions of my goodness and my liberalism is that I support the Palestinian Arabs, who I think are an oppressed people, and they are oppressed by the Israelis, who have taken their land away from them, and they are oppressing them. Now,
so far, she's pretty accurate. People on the left generally consider themselves moral. However, it's worth noting they don't just make the claim. It's pretty much factually true that they tend to be more moral on practically any issue you can think of than the right. It's kind of what makes the left the left. Um, Obviously, she's trying to push this to like kind of prime her entire point here to bring this up, and then she's going to kind of attack it. And this is sort of like a a Jew's perspective, and it's like a propaganda piece. And it's worth noting, don't think that she's I don't know much about her, but just based on like my observations here, I don't think that she's just Stop, buttholes. I don't think that she's just ignorant. I think she knows that she's just completely lying here. So everything that she just said is true. The Israel took illegally, by the way, Palestinian land, took their homes. In fact, it was against international law, and it still stands as against international law. They just haven't done anything. She's just lying here. Like, these are factual claims. Like, this isn't propaganda. This isn't even like up in the air opinions, like it may be, it may not be. It's a factual claim. We have evidence. Like, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. She's just lying here. Let's continue.
Every part of that, in my view, is a lie. But put that to one side. This is what the liberal progressive thinks. And the liberal progressive thinks that supporting the Palestinians is therefore something that makes the liberal progressive a good person. October 7 happened, and suddenly you have a situation in which the people that the liberal progressive has supported as being oppressed, and everything they do is a legitimate defense or resistance against oppression, suddenly we can see that those people have turned into the most bloodthirsty savages that could ever be imagined.
There's no evidence for this claim, by the way. It's just a complete lie. She's obviously pushing propaganda here.
Not just people who kill, but who slaughter in a sadistic, barbaric, debauched and depraved fashion that people can't imagine ever happening. They have slaughtered, raped, beheaded, tortured, burned alive babies, children, women, elderly men, and others.
As tends to be the case with Israel's claims, these are all lies, and I'll kind of dig partially into that in a moment. I don't know, maybe I'll do that soon. Well, actually, let's just go ahead and do it. I'm not going to pull this up and show you what I'm reading, but I will link it if I can remember. So this is Israel's claims, and again and again and again, if you actually do your research, every time Israel uses some sort of claim that's like extremely heinous against Hamas. By the way, before I continue, notice how she explains, she doesn't mention Hamas when she brings up October 7th. She says the Palestinians. That's on purpose. She wants you to think that they're one and the same and they all think exactly the same. That's a common Israeli tactic, and it's absolute bullshit. So moving on. This is just one example. You can do your research and you'll find out that everything I'm saying is just factually true. But okay, a lot of the claims that she made was regarding October the 7th, which she just got done talking about. So 40 beheaded babies, deconstructing the rumor at the heart of the information battle between Israel and Hamas. On October 10th, official Israeli accounts relate a sordid but unfounded allegation. 6 months later, it continues to circulate, fueling accusations of Israeli disinformation. Following the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, 2023, which claimed around 1,160 victims, images of the massacre flooded social media and news outlets around the world. But amidst this flood of accounts of murder, looting, and mutilation, one rumor took on extraordinary proportions. 40 decapitated babies were allegedly found in the Kfar Aza kibbutz, one of the communities most impacted by the attack. This story and its variants went viral like never before, going as far as being mentioned by the White House. However, in the horror of this massacre, in which 38 minors, including 2 infants, were killed, there were never 40 decapitated babies. Not in Kfar Aza, nor in any other kibbutz, the Israeli government press office confirmed to Le Monde. How did this false information come about? Can it be compared to the Kuwait incubator affair, a fabricated tale of kidnapped and massacred babies that was partly used to justify the First Gulf War? Le Mans investigation sheds light on a rumor born organically out of a mixture of emotion, confusion, and macabre exaggeration. Israel has done nothing to fight it and has more often tried to instrumentalize it than deny it, fueling accusations of media manipulation. Very short one, but that covers it. So we've also, and I bring this one up again and again because it keeps getting used, talking about like Hamas raping women and stuff. One very prominent, one of the most popular examples that they use over and over again is this particular family, and a girl of this family was alleged that she was raped. The exact family, including the woman herself, said that that was a lie. She was an Israeli. She basically said that given the circumstances, Hamas was very polite, given that they were, being held hostage pretty much. None of that happened. It was all bullshit. And they claimed, this family claimed, that many Israelis were killed. And for the most part, almost all of them were killed by Israeli soldiers. This should tell you the extent of the fucking bullshit that fucking Israel keeps fucking pushing. Anyhow, I'm going to continue now.
And in which the people that they have supported as being oppressed are good people because they're victims are these savages. And the people they have represented as oppressors are the victims. They can't have that. Because if they have that, if they admit that that is the case, then their entire worldview is shattered, because the people, the cause they have supported as representing goodness is shown to be evil. And what does that make them? It makes them evil. So they can't have it. So what do? They go to extraordinary lengths to pretend that black is white, that justice is injustice, that oppression is resistance, and vice versa. So they have to represent the Israelis as being at fault. The Israelis are to blame for what's happened. So there is no better way of blaming people than accusing them of the very thing they are the victim of.
Projection.
The hilarity of this is it's projection. Like, she's literally projecting what Israel does and claiming that their projection is the reality and that the opposite side is projecting. Like, this is mental gymnastics on steroids right here.
Projection. So you accuse them of genocide. We hear it also regularly. The Israelis are accused of being Nazis. It's the same thing. It's not simply an offensive thing. It's a very deliberate thing.
The reason why this is brought up is because it's ironic that the Jews went through the Holocaust, yet they behave in pretty much the same way. Jesus. Swallowed down the wrong hole. Jeez. What was I saying? Yeah, projection. Jeez, I lost my voice. There was something else, but I can't remember. I'm going to go ahead and continue it. Getting all choked up, messing my brain up.
Because if the Israelis are Nazis, then
that reminds me. Yeah, this is brought up as a legitimate point. She's strawmanning the opposition here. So the Nazi thing is not literally claiming that they're the exact same as like Nazis in Germany. It's similar because it's like oppression of an entire group of people and making this broad, sweeping generalization like Germans did with Jews, and they're doing it to the Palestinians. Like factually, that's what they're doing. Again, the point that I made earlier that she doesn't separate Hamas from Palestinians, the way that her words tells you everything, the way that she words things. It shows you that she's doing exactly what the Nazis did, which is a tactic on purpose. She's trying to use language to make them seem less than human. And you'll notice that she continues that throughout this whole thing. Yeah, but the Nazi thing is not meant to be taken literally. It's retarded that she's even trying to like make this point. The obviously the point that is being made is that it's ironic because Jews went through all of this, and yet Israel is doing the exact fucking same thing. And when I say exact same thing, I just covered it. I don't mean literally they're fucking the same as German Nazis. I mean that they're doing the same fucking behavior that led to the atrocities. And they're also committing a fucking genocide. That's a fact. Continuing.
We are free. We, the liberal West, are free of any kind of guilt or any kind of association with bad things, because they are to blame. They are the people who are bad. And so we are free to continue with our fantasies of us being good people. And I think that's also what lay behind these amazing scenes that we saw on social media of people with their hands tearing down the posters of the hostages. Now, you have to ask yourself, what's going through the mind of someone like that? These weren't posters advertising Israel. They weren't advertising the Israeli Defense Forces. They were pictures of babies, of children, of women who had been kidnapped by bloodthirsty monsters.
Okay, just a brief moment here. You'll notice that she brought up the people tearing down the posters of like the kidnapped people. So there's a couple of things to go over here, and I want you to notice how she's trying to like spin it. And again, she's not actually bringing up a legitimate view of what these people think. So just a moment, I want to replay it real quick so that you can kind of get my point. All right. So I want you to focus on the people. Now, it is true that they're tearing down the kidnapped people deals. But so one thing is everyone knows that these people were kidnapped. So it's not like a missing person case, right? So it's kind of pointless to have them up in the first place. That's the logical take on it. Calm down, Boot. Also, I want you to look at their behavior. Just use basic freaking psychology to observe their facial expressions, their body language, all that. I want you to just look at them and then just watch until the end of this very short, like, compilation of people doing this, and then look at her characterization of it and notice that they're night and day. She's like purposefully lying about them to try to like sway you emotionally.
Now, you have to ask yourself, what's going through the mind of someone like that? These weren't posters advertising Israel. They weren't advertising the Israeli Defense Forces. They were pictures of babies, of children, of women who had been kidnapped by bloodthirsty monsters, by savage, depraved savages, and were being almost certainly subjected to untold horrors. And yet they were torn down, and the faces of the people tearing them down were contorted very often with rage and hate. And you have to ask yourself, what's going on in the mind of that person? And it seemed to me that they had to literally with their fingernails tear it out of sight. It was something that could not be tolerated. to be in existence at all. The very concept of the Israeli babies and children as victims of the people they had been supporting, because it contradicted the narrative on which they had hung their own moral worth. And it seemed to me also they were tearing the Jews out, trying to tear the Jewish people completely out of their world, out of their sight, out of their world, out of their minds, out of their thoughts, and out of their consciences. That's to me what it represented. And this whole inversion of genocide thing is part of that. It is not just disgusting. It is not just ridiculous. It's evil.
Okay, so what I was trying to get you to notice is their faces are contorted in rage. Not true. That, like, it's all bullshit. They're actually just smiling because in their view, they're doing something positive. So, would you guys stop? So, from their point of view, I think that these people realize what Hamas is trying to accomplish here. So it's worth noting, this is just fucking facts. Israel has committed numerous atrocities against the Palestinians for an extremely long period of time, decades. Stolen their land. Like, most of the claims that Israel makes against Palestinians are things that Israel did to Palestinians. Like the fucking raping of fucking women, the murdering like innocent people, just murdering them and then making up bullshit stories about it. That is what they have done, actually, not allegations. So she's obviously just bullshitting. This is pure propaganda, like nothing to be taken seriously at all. I should have stopped it or stopped before now. Would you guys quit? Buttholes? Yeah, because I let quite a bit go by and it's hard to remember everything I wanted to cover. Not to mention the kittens are fighting. Little buttholes. So she just mischaracterized and strawmanned the entire opposing side there, which shows either one, she's stupid, which I don't believe, or two, she's purposefully doing this to manipulate people's emotions, which is, in my opinion, exactly what she's doing. What else was there? There was something, at least two other points I wanted to make. I'm going to replay this a little bit.
And out of their consciences. That's to me what it represented. And this whole...
Yeah, she's taking her personal freaking emotional shit, and at least she admits it to her. This is what it represented. That's not at all what's going on. Like, this is some crazy reaching fucking mental gymnastics here. No one thinks this shit. Like, this is just plain insanity. They're not trying to rip them out of sight so that, like, their conscience feels better. Like, that's retarded. Like, where the fuck do you get this shit from? Like, it makes no sense at all. She's just trying to pull people's emotional heartstrings to get you to feel bad for... notice how she's trying... She hasn't directly said it, but it's like she's trying to portray this like the people who are pro-Palestine, they are anti-Semitic. This is something, the moment you see this you should know. The moment you get this is characterized as anti-Semitism, it's all bullshit. That's all you really need to know. That when they do that, that's like them pulling like their trump card. That's what they always do. Unless there's evidence of actual anti-Semitism, which there isn't, this is used as a far-right tactic to get you emotionally, like, it's like a fear-mongering thing and trying to get you fucking all emotional. Not to mention the tribalism and all that shit. Yeah, it's just complete bullshit. Let's continue.
Whole inversion of genocide thing is part of that. It is...
this is also not an opinion. This is not like based on my view of things. No. The International Court said that there's a great deal of evidence to suggest that they are committing a genocide. And by the way, if you actually look at the fucking the countries that were pro-Palestine that brought the evidence against Israel, it's like watch it. It's a clear-cut fucking closed-door case. Obviously, they are committing a genocide. If they weren't, after all of this shit in the international court and all this, and them telling them they need to like do certain things to be in good standing, and by the way, Israel just fucking ignored it. That's kind of what I mean. Like, if a country was concerned about their image and they're being accused of this shit, then they should at least make an effort to not be fucking piling up evidence of a fucking genocide. But Israel did the opposite. They doubled down. They kept, and they are to this day blocking fucking humanitarian aid to Palestinians. There's only one reason why you would do that, because you're fucking trying to fucking kill them all. They made up bullshit excuses like, we have to check it because there may be weapons. Like, there has been zero evidence of any weaponry, even anything that could be used at all as a fucking weapon. It's all bullshit. They're trying to fucking suppress aid, food mainly, to these people so they can fucking starve them out and kill them all. It's been their goal for a long time. That's where all of the evidence points. These are the facts.
Not just disgusting. It is not just ridiculous. It's evil. And I think it is a symptom of the evil paths into which the West has fallen through its embrace of a whole range of ideologies, a whole range of thinking, which I think has come to define what we call the liberal progressive West.
Well, I believe I already covered mainly everything I wanted to say just as I went there. So obviously this is just pure propaganda. It's like alt-right crazy ass shit that shouldn't be taken seriously. Notice how she didn't provide any evidence for any of the claims she made. And that is something that tends to happen when people are propagandists or grifters. It's all bullshit. And she's supporting, ironically, the mainstream West, the whole narrative. And notice how this narrative that gets pushed by the mainstream West has no evidence to back it ever. It's always just Israel is the poor fucking victim here. And and then she's trying to characterize the left by straw manning. I'm not going to continue on and on because it's just me saying the exact same thing. And I've proven it here in this fucking video. This is bullshit. Propaganda. Thank you for your time.